Okay, everything's working. Okay, so we are up to, well, I posted this 4-parter last day or two, and obviously there's a little spot there that still needs to be finished, but I want to go ahead and get the final shot done. So I'm back in Krita, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill the background, and I'm going to take this sequence right here, which I think when I render it, okay, that's what we wanted. So I'm going to render this as an image sequence into a temp folder. So Control R, and then let's just save it as, we'll save it as a ping sequence. So where should we save this? Let's save this in L, anime. Do we have a temp folder? We don't actually, yeah, I guess we do. Okay, so I'm going to call this temp zen, for lack of a better idea, dot ping. So we're going to save it as pings. Hopefully that will not be egregious to Krita. And then what I'm going to do is, I already pulled the background image into Krita. So Krita. Which is it? No one knows. It's a mystery. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to File, Import Animation Frames, and we're going to just add 4 images, and then we can ripple edit them, right? So we'll go to the temp folder. Boom, there it is. And then what did we call this? We called this T for temp zen. So we're going to grab temp zen. Those 4 frames right there, and let's just import them. Okay, so this is interesting. Image, let's check the canvas size. Yeah, see, darn it, I didn't really want to. I'm sticking with broadcast. I'm sticking with broadcast HD. So with that, we're going to have to add a transform layer to this. We can't just do a transform, or transform mask, I guess you'd call it. Because if we just do a transform mask, or I mean if we do a regular transform, the problem is that the it will only resize the first image. Okay, so you can see here, I'm going to go to the transform mask again and just move that over, and I do believe I'm going to save this, because see, now what that did was that effectively took the images, I'm sorry, that I exported from OpenTunes, and effectively has baked them into the Krita file. So now the files that I put in the temp folder are irrelevant. I could delete them, clean the temp folder out. It doesn't matter because they're baked into the Krita file. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control E to okay, that's not what I meant to do. Sorry about that. I want to flatten the layer. There we go. Okay, and what that did was it effectively took that transform and baked it in. So now we've got the background here, but I'm going to leave it turned off. Okay, and that little hiccup right there, you can see, doesn't matter. So we'll turn that off. And now what we need to do is figure out our timing. My sense is that it's going to be something like 6s. I'm sorry, 12s. So let's just try that. We'll just try it. We'll give the shot. That's actually it's too fast. Yep. 18. Let's just go to 36 here. And what would it be? 60? That's probably too long, but let's see. I actually don't mind that. I'm going to save that. Okay. So now now it becomes a matter of tweening. Now, one actually, instead of going down with the opacity, I should ask myself one important question, which is, do I want to use these drawings? I mean, they're not bad. This one's a little weak. This one's pretty good. This one's not bad. So I like this one a lot, and I like this one a lot, and the two in between are just okay. But if we turn on our onion skins, let's see here. Let's do this. Let's add a new layer, and for now we'll go ahead and add an existing layer. Boom. And now from here on out we should create new layers in the timeline so that the layers all show up in the timeline all the time. I believe they will. Yes. See, so if I toggle between them. Okay, so why do that? Well, mainly so that I can go here, and now let's just sketch this in. Okay. So we're going to just go like this. That's all I'm going to do. And this, I would say, okay, sorry, this needs to be inserted. Let's insert a key here, and we'll just, again, we're going to just trace this teardrop. Actually, you know what? I think that yeah, let's rethink this here just a little bit. Instead, let's go insert, and then we'll put in the teardrop shape of his face. Let's just go ahead and do it on the Zen layer. Okay, and so we're going to go here. Let's insert a key, and again, we just want to see a little bit of that progression. Here, same thing. I'm going to put this a little closer here. Just because I want him to hold this pose a little longer, and frankly, I'm going to go ahead and insert a key here. And let's just say he's kind of craning his head around. He's kind of going like that. Are you okay? Kind of thing. All right, so that's fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep going. And I'm not even going to, well, okay, I will draw the teardrop shape, but it's easier to size it with the just drawing the circle. Pretty obvious, I think. Okay, so just a little bit bigger. Not too much. Right? So here, just want to have a little bit of change. And here I think it's probably important to have a tween. So okay. So it's actually right there. Boom. We'll just use that as a guide to make the circle a little bit bigger. Okay, I'm going to turn the onion skins off, and let's just see how the progression feels. Okay, so I think we probably, what do we want to do here? It kind of bugs me that that's what I'm trying to do here is be a little more meticulous about tweening. Okay, so I'm going to insert a key there. Only because this is a shot where there's a fair amount of acting involved, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this one forward, and I'm hitting Alt so that it ripples everything downstream, because I want to put this one on 3s. Yeah. So again, not much of a change when we draw the final drawing. This one, at least as far as this face goes, probably is just going to be a transformation. It's not going to be an actual redraw. Probably need a tween there. And so, let's put this guy on 3s. Boom. Okay, yeah, definitely there. So, chin point actually doesn't change that much, but the head is certainly twisting around. Okay, so this is held a bit. I need to hit play so it caches it. Okay, these two are kind of reversed, I think. So I'm gonna, well, okay, Krita's being a little silly about that particular. Okay, the thing I don't like is that actually I think this last motion should be a little more aggressive. And finally, this one, I'm gonna say let's bump this up a little bit so that there's a definite Okay, I like that better. So there's some clear motion. Yeah, I like that. Alright, let's save that. Okay, so now what we need to do is just go in here and start fixing things and touching things up. So I'm gonna, I'm just making this up as I go along, folks. So I think the first thing I should do is deal with his shoulders. I could be wrong about this, by the way. I want to give a caveat that I might regret this. I'm sort of just choosing my strategy and hoping it's gonna. Okay, so I'm seeing this come over a little bit. Whoops, I don't really want to draw over that frame, which I obviously already did, but come to think of it. Okay, so what we see here is the shoulders here. So let's go okay, so bulbous, shadow, shoulder. X, 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 X. So circular here. Okay, yeah, so things are moving in this direction. Unless I'm having a dyslexia moment. Okay, that feels pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to just kind of adjust this a little bit. Yes. And this is more of a head move with a slight change of weight, but really this is where toggling back and forth is really helpful. Yeah, so this is the move that I wanted to. So this is trapezius, 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 right? So trapezius, trapezius, trapezius. All right. So yeah, that last move is a pretty aggressive move. I mean, he's moving fast because he's worried. You know, he's worried about her. Akari, Akari, Akari. You know, it's that kind of a thing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay focused on the contours. You know, I always say go from the known to the unknown, right? So that means the stuff that I know where it goes, let's make sure we get that correct. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. Obviously the poor guy's got dots for eyes, so let's play it back once just to make sure we're okay. I actually love it. I think it looks great. Especially that last motion. The only thing I'd probably criticize would be here it almost seems like to get from here, okay, so we've got a tilt with the left shoulder being slightly higher, and it's higher here too, so it seems to me that what probably should be happening here is there should be a shift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to work that shift in like that. Okay. Okay. So now here it's there, so let's go, yep, something like that. Okay, yeah, and here's where it really will get sewn together if I do it right. Yeah, okay, so let's turn that off. Let's turn the onion skins off as well. Save our work, and let's just see. Yeah, I think so. It's not like the greatest thing ever, but it's pretty good. Okay, so now let's just get real pragmatic here about this positioning. If you were to draw the circle, his eyes are almost a straight halfway point, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm just going to kind of sort of hope in this case that I do this right. Okay, so there's definitely a turn here going on. Yeah, and actually even more. Okay, this should be almost straight on, I think. So let's go ahead and subdivide it like so. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to look at the contour. We're actually going to have a little bit of a curve. Not exactly a 3/4 type situation, but yeah, that worked. Okay, now let's see. Here we're almost straight on, so let's go ahead and develop that. Okay, now we've got a little danger here. I want to put in a little bit more detail so we don't lose the width of his head. Okay, so there's the contour. So let's try to follow this. Okay, not quite right. That really should have been more like that. Okay, and let's go back to our obviously that's not symmetrical. And I probably should be taken out and whipped with a wet noodle for making it so non-symmetrical. But one thing that needs to start happening here is a little bit of a curvature downward, because you know he's kind of sneaking down. All right, it's not bad. Akari, right? Okay. Holy cow, it's been 20 minutes. Okay, so now this is where it's going to get kind of interesting. Here his arms are down. Here his arms are up. So do we want to... I'm going to turn on the onion skins, and let's presume for this shot we're just going to use balls to specify where his arms would be, and I'm going to say his hands are going to fall out of frame there. And honestly, that's it. We don't really see the hands after that. So therefore, I'm going to say let's anchor the elbows there. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get just the lower part of the elbow. Where is the bottom of his arm, in other words, right? So basically it's there. I feel like maybe this is going to want to be a little wider. So, okay, given that, let's go ahead and push in a little bit here. And let's just take one component at a time and see if we can get it kind of accurate to what we would expect. Okay, I want to look at that trapezius he's got, because I feel like maybe this head is probably too big. Yeah, this head is definitely too big. Now, this is the kind of stuff you figure it out by playing with it, you know. Boom. So the interesting thing to me about this right here is that his bicep is basically bulging out, but as he moves forward, it's coming around to where it's actually angled in, right? We're seeing a little different position on the arm. So I think here that needs to definitely be specified, this curvature of his pecs. I mean, the guy's got big pecs, what can you say? Now this is bugging me bad. Yeah, this pose is lame. Sorry, folks. I'm just not buying it. I'm looking at the anatomy and going, that does not look right. Okay, I don't have any objection to that. I need to undo my selection though, so I can draw. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this really broad. And stick with simple lines. Okay, so by the way, here's the top contour of his manly pecs, right? So here we have kind of the bicep situation, and we determined that the back of his elbow is right there. So here his arm's kind of crunching in a little bit, so his bicep would probably flex a bit. you know, we're not really trying to portray Zen as a massive bodybuilder, but I mean, you know, he's a big guy. He's a big boy. So I'm just really trying to keep it loose. Okay, not horrible. Okay, and this, yeah, we're just one notch closer. What can you say? It's interesting that his trapezius almost stay in the same position all the time. Now I'm going to widen his arm out a little bit here, so you can sort of see the cap of the deltoid, if you will. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so again, same thing here. We're going to just try to keep it loose. What's actually throwing me, I will say, if there's anything that's throwing me, sorry, it's this. It's the inner contour, because that doesn't really belong there. I mean, that doesn't actually exist, does it? So you get these, that's kind of the danger of a pencil test or a sketch, is that you have these guidelines you give yourself that can start to be more, do more harm than good, right? Okay, so this is obviously ridiculous. His shoulders need to be coming out way more. Okay, so now here, he's on the move. Yep, there we go. So let's just follow this contour, sort of Disney style. In other words, loose and fluid. And then I'll come back in and add some of the meat on his bones, so to speak. Okay, so I'm going to turn the onion skins off, rewind. Kari? Akari. Kari. Yeah, the only thing that's bugging me is a little bit in the middle, but I honestly think the reason it's bugging me is actually the reason I said a minute ago. I don't think the drawing's actually bugging me. It's these erroneous lines that are kind of throwing me off. Okay, that one actually needs to stay. Yeah, like right here. Let's just take those out so we're not distracted by this stuff that we know doesn't belong in there. Probably should shrink it down here a little bit. Yeah, same situation here. Yeah. Now let's play it. Let's put it in tab mode so you guys at home can see the full size. Okay, it isn't perfect, but whatever is, right? But I think the reason it's not perfect, see, what I think we can do is, I think what we should do, I'm going to get a little bit, bold here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this key and copy it here. I'm going to drag it back over here. And I'm going to try to, and what I'm going to do actually is put this above it. And then I'm going to try to animate this to match the sketch. Okay, so A key. So I want to slight shrink. Okay. Here, it's kind of a similar situation. One could argue that what I really should be doing here is taking this, hitting the A key, and we'll see if this works. You know, it's worth a try. And doing a flip. Now that's kind of enlightening since it shows how lopsided his eyes are, but that's okay. That's okay. Just for testing purposes, let's just kind of roll with it. I know it's not perfect. It's a little strange, but all I'm trying to do is move fast and get it blocked in. You know, what do I need to throw away? What can I keep? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, since we're going to do this experiment, let's just go ahead and take this. Let's go ahead and just use this brush and paint some stuff in here. Just want to, like I said, block it in. Just see what's working and what's not working. We can always throw this whole layer away, you know. Doesn't matter. All that matters is it cool? Does it look good, right? I can always go in and fix his face. Okay. And in fact, oh shoot, Krita. I do not appreciate that. Okay, so let's turn this guy back on and just see what we have here. I mean, I don't know if it worked. Let's turn this off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ditch this. I don't think that really worked. But I think what I'm going to do here is just... I didn't mean to do that either. I need to add that here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy that key up there. I'm going to copy that key up there, even though it's got to be, obviously it needs some touch up. Okay, and now let's insert keys here and let's just do it. Okay, so now all the keys are in there. And now what we can do is go in here and pull back a little bit. Okay. Stop drawing quite so aggressively. And by the way, I mean, obviously we've got a problem here too, in that his belt is in fact of the wrong color right now, which has been pointed out to me that there's another shot currently live in the show where Zen's tan colored belt actually has, yes folks, it changed color. So sorry. So now what I want to do is sort of test myself to see if I can do a decent job of just animating this stuff. Okay, sorry, I guess we are in the wrong layer. Are we in the wrong layer? That's interesting. Okay, so there's the layer. Now it erases. I'm really sure I just had a dyslexia moment because I don't know why I wasn't able to erase it, but I'm sure I was just grabbing the wrong thing or whatever. Okay. So now the reason I'm doing this is so that I can just sketch in the stuff that's missing. Mm-hmm. Let his fingers come together over these couple frames, and then kind of goes into a fist situation, and then boom, his hands are no longer visible, so it doesn't matter. So now, this is what I was talking about. I'm going to just try to sketch more lightly now. Not really going to use the onion skins, just going to feel it. Okay, so the big test is going to be his face. So I'm going to take this. And then I think, I mean, based on my timing, I think I'm going to go ahead and probably take a break here. So what I want to do is clear. Let's just clear his face, just so we're not fighting it. I'm going to have to. The thing I'm concerned about, the thing I'm most likely to screw up, is the face continuity. So what's going to happen is in a subsequent frame, it won't really look like Zen anymore. It's something that I've mentioned in other videos. I have the tendency to do that, and it's a pretty horrible thing for an animator to do, because your characters need to look like themselves, obviously. So I kind of want to tackle that issue right now. Okay. And I'm doing the hair because the way his hair falls over his face is really, really a big part of what makes him look like him. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, right there. This is where it's gonna break if I'm not careful. Okay, I got it. It's one of those weird things. You can tell when you get it. It's just, you can tell. You feel it in the drawing. You just go, oh yeah, that's Zen. Or you don't. So okay, and obviously what we're doing here is he's got these little dots for eyes, and I just blew that. I blew it. I didn't make them. Didn't put them in the right position. Okay, I don't want to draw his mouth too much, but I do want to have at least an indicator of its position. There's going to be a fair amount of lip sync here, so okay, not bad. Gosh, I actually wonder if in the original drawing I really was making his eyes too small. But let's keep going with this. See where it leads us. Okay, I think it's working. And we just have to take this sort of detail work and bring it to the whole rest of the... Okay, that was too big. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work to, you know, if you got to do it on twos, you got to do it on twos. If you gotta, you gotta. So we'll go like that, like that, that. We'll just kind of let it evolve a little bit. Okay. And as we get closer here, maybe this other spike will appear, right? Just a little bit. It sort of comes into being, is the truth of the matter, but okay, this is not bad. I mean, I think here his eyes should more or less be in shadow, and then by here we need to start seeing his expression. So as long as possible, I'm wanting the eyes to have that mild-mannered look. And I'm going to have to redraw this, so for the moment I'm going to go ahead and just sketch over that. Okay, that's not bad. Let's just look at that. I mean, I'll tell you the truth, folks. I really actually feel like I'm drawing him better now. And this drawing really needed to be redone anyway. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to actually go like that. Just going to go like that. Okay. I'll redo this on the ink layer, but I want to go ahead and redraw him. So I know he looks a little wild-eyed and stuff. I'm just playing around with different expressions, so it's like I have 2 or 3 drawings over top of one another is what's really going on right there. That's why it looks so silly. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. Boy, it's almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'll do more tomorrow, but at least that gets him blocked in. So there will be more later.